Yeah, it's first show with the band here. I think it's like close to 3 years. I mean, I think I did a couple of shows with an orchestra, but first real rock show. I mean, I do some of the Rainbow Purple stuff with orchestras and all, and but this was the first show in about 3 years with the band, and we had a very short rehearsal, and here we are. We kicked some ass, though. What have I been doing? I made use of the time. First of all, I began living because I needed to catch up with myself, get healthy, also enjoying life. I have 2 grandchildren, you know, and wrote an album. And that's the big news, really, is the new album. Yeah, finally. And it's very different, if we're ready to discuss that. It's extremely different for what I'm known for. And I wrote it with Peter Tägtgren. He did all the music, I did melody and lyrics. And it's, as we describe it, modern metal. It's still got hooks, and but it's got a modern sound to it. You know, so it's not real classic rock, but it's got elements of it. It certainly has, but we wrote the first song like maybe 5 years ago, so that's a while. But what happened was, he was touring, I was touring, and I'd get tracks and he'd get, you know, references back and forth, and then we were just so busy, both of us, touring, when you could still tour, that we didn't have a chance to really finish it until COVID, you know, and then we finally buckled down and got in the studio and said, let's go. Yeah, on and off, because of, like I told you, early on when we could tour, we were both touring, so it slowed it down a bit. And as soon as the pandemic hit, we had time, so we got together. I mean, we did it virtually because I went to a studio near me. He was doing it in the Abyss in Sweden, and we were sending back and forth, you know, like everybody does today. You know, that's how most of the stuff gets recorded today. And once he came down, and I was before the whole thing broke loose. I was at his studio. He came to our studio. You know, that's the way we did it. And then finally, we finished it. Well, according to the record company, October, I think, the release of the full album, but we hope to get a video or so out, like maybe end of August, beginning of September, and start releasing videos and so on and so forth. I'll tell you how. Tommy Tägtren is a big fan of mine. And I love the guy. He's absolutely brilliant, Tommy. And it was his birthday about 5 years ago. And Peter had called. He wanted to surprise Tommy, his brother, and said, look, you know, what's it going to take to get you here, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, I'd love to do it. So we came to his town and played the birthday party, and we became instant friends. With me. I just signed with Mascot. Had a couple of offers with different labels, but Mascot loves this new record and loves the music and is willing to, as we say, put their money where their mouth is. And that's very rare nowadays. I mean, there's so many albums coming out that are just, here's a few grand and you got a computer and so on. This is they're treating as an absolute real, this is an album.
Real deal.
Yeah, this is a real deal. And they show their belief in the album and in me as an artist. And I just said, okay, I'll do it, because these guys are putting it on the table, so to speak. The other offers were like, you know, here and there. But when you find somebody who believes in you, whether it's love, you know, marriage, you know, whatever. Look, some of these companies, they just take, excuse my expression, they take shit and they throw it against the wall and they see what sticks. And then somebody today said, yeah, but referring to that company, and said even if it sticks, they just let it drop off the wall. It's meaningless. You know, it's become a conveyor belt of crap. Just put out anything, you know? And I mean, look, anybody and everybody can put out an album today with technology, right? But I mean, that doesn't make it great, and it doesn't make it buyable or listenable or anything. And we're saying this with respect. And it all sounds the same to me. You know, I left said companies because I wanted to do something artful, something original, something different. You know, I came from a legacy of great bands, and I'm trying to continue that type of attitude. I don't want to just keep putting out pulp, as we say, like Pulp Fiction, you know, a crap book. I want to put out something that you're either going to love it or hate it, and that's artistic. And everything about this album is going to be artistic, including the cover, everything. It's more artful. Love it or hate it. Yeah, age doesn't matter unless you're a wine or a cheese. To me, look, I'm so thankful at this age that I can still sing, write, physically. I mean, I've had my problems with health, everything, but I'm at my thank you stage of my life. When I was younger, rock and roll, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Now you start to really understand what this is about. This really is deeper than what we used to do as kids. You start to grow and mature in your philosophies, in your art, your originality, your persona. So to me, I'm lucky, I'm thankful, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I really, you know, I wake up every day and I thank God I'm alive. I'm going like, man, I'm breathing, blinking. I have the ability to be here and create something that's worthwhile, that's going to stick around. That's what it means to me. Never thought I'd get to that age. Honest to God, right now, 70 is the new 40, okay?
Yeah.
But I mean, I never thought I'd get to this age. I still feel 19. When I'm listening to music and doing stuff, I still feel 19. Okay, you do slow down a bit. I think more than slow down, I think what you do is you become more aware of things, and you're not as stupid as you were, and you don't do as many ridiculously dangerous things, and you don't kill yourself as much as you did, and you try to take it easy. I mean, I can remember waking up in Utah naked under a piano, you know, I mean, you know, I don't do that anymore. I've got responsibilities.
And of course.
That's right.
It helps.
I have a beautiful wife, I have grandchildren. This is the you find love, you find an inspiration, you find a purpose in life. You know, people who think there's only rock and roll, no. Rock and roll you don't live for rock and roll. Rock and roll lives for you. If you are rock and roll, it lives for you. Now it's reversed. Before I was, now it's, hey, I'm going to give back to this idiom that we call rock and roll, and I'm going to put something in it where on my epitaph, when I leave this planet, they can say, this guy tried to do something. He left a mark here. You know, like him or hate him, he tried to do something. he left an imprint.
Right.
You know, he means something. Whoa. Transition. Loosely translated, transition means complete change. I'm evolving. Even at 71 years old, I'm being reborn. I'm going to transition into another chameleon state. What you saw and what you see is not what's to be. And you're all gonna go, holy fuck. He did that? He's doing this? Yes, I am. It's a new time. It's a new day. It's a new life. It's a new transition. I was going to name the album that, but no, it's too obvious. But that's what's going to happen in the next 6 months and then forever on until I leave the planet.